Jennie, I guess that the kind of bounce back you wanted after all the work that you had kind of, this week working yourself?
Well, I mean, I thought the first half, I thought we did some really good things. I thought it was really fun to be able to see us. And, and after you don't play for a week, you do have some kind of normal game rust. But I felt like our energy, the way that we started, I thought was really good, offensively, defensively. So I guess to answer your question very simply, yes, I was really happy about that. And then the coach part of you was never satisfied with anything ever.
Right.
So, but no, I'm really proud of the way that we've responded and looked in the mirror and said, okay, we got to face greatness and we got to face what an elite program looks and feels like. And we fell short and we know that. And so I'm really proud that instead of blaming everybody or not responding the way that we maybe did in the game, we looked at it, we owned it, we fell down, and we'll continue to get up and keep growing. And I'm really proud of the group of women for being able to do that. Because not one of them said, oh, it's your fault or your fault or your fault. We all took a piece of that pie.
Jennie, you started Scott, and I think that's the first game she started.
Mm-hmm.
Was that one of the things you worked on this week that you decided to do, and what about that decision?
Well, I don't think that we didn't play well because Raina didn't start and Vea did.
No,
That's not why. No, I know you're not saying that. I just want to make sure that's clear. There were a couple of different things that went into that decision. I think Raina's really elevated her game as of late. I think Raina does a really good job of continuing to set other people up. She's finding just her own game. She's really maturing a lot right now, and I thought she had a couple really good days of practice. We competed hard in those days of practice, and I thought she did a great job. It doesn't mean that Vea didn't. I think Vea, even just taking a seat, I thought Vea was really good today. I thought she came out. I thought her pace was really good. I thought her willingness just to shoot that open shot was really good. She didn't hesitate on that. And so I don't know how we'll keep going, but I really liked the way that we started today, and I liked the response from both of them.
Sahara, what stood out to you about the way this team has responded in the last week leading up to today?
I would say how connected we have become since a week ago we're losing to South Carolina. I think we've loved on each other and really have hyped each other up, given each other all the confidence in the world and just believing in each other. Jennie prides herself on love. Love is the biggest emotion. Love wins all. And I think we all really took that into consideration and willing to bounce back to be able to play like we did today. So I think that's one thing I'd just say, just really leaning on each other and becoming more connected.
Jennie, in this game, you had 17 turnovers. I didn't think it was that big of a deal in this game, but they got 20 points in that. I don't know how you feel about that. How did you feel like you handled the ball in this game better?
Well, I think we can notice the difference between when we're playing with our instincts and when we aren't. And when we start overthinking something and then we try to make up for it, we're a group of people that really want to do the right things. And we really like each other. And so sometimes we kind of feel like we might hurt someone's feelings if we don't pass it, so we're going to pass it, even if it's not there. And and I think sometimes we think, oh, this look is what we should be looking for, and that's all we're going to look. You can see when we do a good job with that and when those turnovers just turn into 2 points for the other team. Those are the ones we've got to get rid of. When we play instinctually and we try something and we're trying to maybe even thread a needle, fine, that's going to happen. So some of our turnovers today are the ones that we have to get rid of, but I think they noticed the difference today. More so than we've noticed the difference in the past. And I think it took us to really watch a lot of film, to really feel that out, to really see those days in practice. You don't get practice film. You get it in October. You don't get it in any other time. And so I do think that timing was really good for us.
Jennie, you talked about what you liked in the first half. I'm curious what you thought about the second half. Obviously, the shooting discrepancy stands out, but just all around.
Yeah. I think the second half. I think the energy in the first half was really good. We obviously need to come out and find great energy in the second half, and I think some of it were right ideas, and we just have to finish them. I thought Skylar coming out and getting 2 offensive rebounds right away, I thought that was huge for us. I think our ball movement was okay. We just didn't have as much purpose in the second half as maybe we did in the first. I think our connection in the first half, nobody cared about anything. Everybody thought, okay, I need to pass, I need to shoot, I need to score. I need to rebound, I need to guard. And I think as the second half goes on, we got to keep that mentality constantly, where sometimes we get a little bit too much on our shoulders of, okay, I have to do this for us. And we made these adjustments at halftime, so I have to do that. We're not as good then. And we have to find that balance of being able to take what they're giving us, but also play and make those reads. And I know that's oversimplifying it, but there's a huge difference, and I think we're finally really feeling that difference. And then we fouled too much, and then we get mad, and then we foul more. And so those are things that we've got to be able to address. And that's been, I don't know if the game's officiated different in the first half as it is in the second, like it feels. But it's also, we all get tired. And we got to lock in and we got to be better. Like we can't have petty fouls that we're then just giving teams free throws. So that's something that we have to clean up.
We held them to 30% shooting. They only made 2 threes. It looked like it was a really good defense. Sometimes I'm afraid to ask some things
No,
to you, but
well,
it looked like it was a great defensive game for you.
I feel like they have really good guards, and Trinity Turner, she struggled today making shots, and I hope she's okay. I really hope she's okay because she's really good, and she's a really good freshman. And I've seen a lot of games, I've seen a lot of film. I've seen her not do well in the first half and be able to come out and have maturity in the second half to be dynamite. So, and she's a freshman. I thought we did a pretty good job today on their guards. What I didn't like necessarily is us playing post defense. I don't think we responded as well to that. Part of that is we got in a lot of foul trouble, and so we had a lot of different looks, and we've got to be able to pick that up. We didn't have KJ today either. I think today would have been a really good matchup for her. She'll be back. She's just sick today. But I do think that that's the one area I would love to have just done a little bit better.
Coach, I know you touched on it a little bit, but Raina Scott began the season with limited minutes on the squad, and now she's a starter, I guess, just in this game at least. What things have you seen from her throughout practice, throughout the games that have kind of gave you more confidence to put her more in those important roles and things like that?
Well, and I think you can attest to this, but I don't think anybody's ever lacked confidence in Raina. We see, sometimes I think my probably expectation for her is almost too high. And I think she's worked her way on the defensive end. I think at the beginning, she thought it was more about the offense and being able to do some things. And you could see her really trying to pass and really trying to, because she has some of that in her game. But I think she's changed her body. I think she's really taken fitness to another level. She's gotten in shape because we also, if she's going to play a lot, she's got to be able to pick up the ball in the full court. She's doing that now. She wasn't doing that then. I like that she speaks up more from a leadership standpoint. She's able to look in the mirror. She loves playing with really good players. And in today's world, there's a lot of outside noise, and she has a lot of that, especially when she's not from here, right? Everyone's like, why are you still in Oklahoma, right? You're from New York City, and like, why? And I think, she really has to be, she has to really think about that and has to answer that because she loves this team. She knows she has to get better. She knows that we want the best for her. She knows those things. And so you've just seen her continue to mature. She really should only be a sophomore. Her birthday's in November. And, you can just see that maturity really kind of go. I don't know if you have anything to add to that, but.
No, I'd agree. I think just making sure she's super confident, and she works super hard every day. She pours into her teammates, and I think that's just made it even easier to, you got to put her on the floor somehow, some way. She'll impact the game. So just from a teammate standpoint, I think she just has worked really hard.
Sahara, when Jennie talks about you guys playing better when you're playing just fast and instinctual, is that something you can almost sense immediately in the first couple of possessions that you guys are kind of locked into that? And if not, how do you get to that point where you work yourself into that throughout, the 4 quarters?
From the tip, I think we can usually feel it. We're all super connected. We have pretty good energy, and I think we were pretty instinctual, especially in that first quarter. But when we're not, I think just a deep breath. Like, you're good, you got it, just hoop. That's something we say to each other a lot. Just hoop, just play.
I don't say that.
Very true. But really just
Maybe I should start.
just taking a deep breath and just really allowing the game to come to us and just setting each other up. And I think the more we set each other up, the better we are. And I think today is something we really tried to focus on.
Sahara, I'm curious, after what happened at South Carolina, you guys played much better today. There were a lot of things going on. Talk about the week and what you guys said to each other when you guys got together about that game moving forward? Because you're still ranked 15th in the country. You still have so much to play for. What did you guys decide, or what did you guys talk about, and did you accomplish some of it today?
I think we all just decided to hold each other to higher standards. Never make excuses for the person to the left or the right of you, but just also having each other's back. Like Jennie says, you can fall down 100 times, but getting up and responding is what matters. And I think everyone, the players, the staff, we instill that in each other. You can fall down, but I got you. I got you. And I think that's just something we just love to do, just pouring into each other and just really working hard. And I think our practices were really about us, like really just genuinely getting back to Oklahoma women's basketball and just loving each other. And so I just think that's kind of what we did within this week.
Jennie, in case you don't get to talk to between now and Thursday, another huge week ahead with the, not just this one, but the next two. But what do you guys need to do to be in the right headspace when you walk out from the tip on Thursday?
I'm going to take this in two different ways. I kind of want to answer your question a little bit. You know, sometimes I feel like at Oklahoma, and I don't just mean in our program, but the standards of this athletics department are so high, and so we have such high expectation. And I'm going to tell you right now, the SEC is different, and you can't. And the number of times people tell you any given night, anybody can, and it's true. And you're playing on a professional stage, not because of NIL, but because you're playing against future pros day in, day out. And so there is a difference there. What we got to see was elite playing elite. And what we got to feel was elite playing elite. And we saw an arena that had 18,000 people there. And I don't think there was an open seat. So if somebody wasn't there, then someone else took their ticket. I mean, it was an incredible environment for women's basketball. It was incredible basketball. It was well balanced. They do an incredible job. It's something that we have to really look as fans and as program of where do we really want to go in this conference, because it's as much a part of our fans as it is a part of our coaches, as it is a part of the athletes we can get. It's an environment, it's a culture change, it's something that we really have to invest in, but we can't invest in the winning and losing column. We have to invest in the process column, because it's true, and I don't care what sport you're talking about. So there's that piece. And life doesn't always give you a 1 week notice that you get to relive the same thing. We're going to go to LSU and have the same environment. Not the same team, not the same style of play, different coaches, different players, but same environment. And we weren't ready for that environment. So now we know what we got to get ready for in terms of environment. And so that's something that life doesn't always teach you. So what an incredible lesson. So we keep talking about, did everything get saved in this game? And did we turn our season around? It's one game. And this is what we talked about all week. I don't care if we win or lose on Sunday. I care if we keep getting better every day as we continue to go forward. So it's going to depend on how we show up tomorrow in practice. It's going to depend on the next day that we show up, and we have to continue to do that, because if we want to represent Oklahoma in the way that we want to represent in the SEC conference, we don't get to pick and choose days anymore. And I don't care men's basketball. I don't care women's basketball. I don't care football. I don't care what sport you're talking about. You can't do that anymore. And that's fans too. That's all of us. We have to be all in to help us really propel this thing forward. But that's what we have to be able to do, is understand that it's not about anything else other than you still have to show up every single day. So for Sahara, for example, I love how hard she plays. And her skills are going to catch up to how hard she plays. And I never worry about that. And so I'd never want her to slow down, because maybe it benefits us a little bit better right now, because it's going to catch up and it's going to elevate us as we continue to go. So she needs to be who she is. She needs to never lower her standard of competitiveness. She needs to never, I don't care if she's way above where everybody else is on the team on a day, she has to keep going. And we need to keep feeding that for her to continue to get better, because that's the process. That's the thing we got to fall in love with, is the process of how we get to be great in the best league in the country.
Jennie, Reagan had her 8 double-double this tonight. How have you seen Reagan improve and get better even after her shoulder?
Well, I think the second half in the game last weekend really showed us, wow, like she's pretty tough, like she can do this. I think in the first half she was a little hesitant, and I think you could see that. I think today she'd like to finish some of those that she didn't, but maybe she was padding her rebounding stats, I don't know. But she does. She gives a different level of confidence to everybody too. after you have a really hard game, her first thing is to tell Sahara how good she is, to tell Raina how good she is. And she just has that. She has that she can build everybody up, and she's willing just to continue to get better. So, today wasn't necessarily her best game, and she still has a double-double, right? And I think that's just going to continue to elevate us, too.
Sarah, I wanted to ask you something about what Jenny was just talking about not slowing down and not, turning things down a notch when things might not be going, the way you want around you. Is it difficult at all to, not do that even when, your coaches are telling you to keep going?
I would say yes and no, but I think just having such a supporting staff and teammates who are like, no, go, go. I'm like, okay, I got more in me. So they're just so super supporting, super loving, and just knowing that they believe in me is something that helps my confidence and helps me be able to pour back into my team, knowing that the staff believes in me and it's like, Sarah, just go hard, max out. Like, I know there's somebody else coming who's got my back. So I just think having that type of support on this team is really, it's good and it's balancing.
Appreciate it.
Anything else, guys? Perfect. Thank you,
Thanks for
everybody.
being here today, you
Thank
guys. Appreciate you. Boomer.